The economy isn't healthy like the markets are showing, says Brent Johnson of Santiago Capital. He examines the catastrophic consequences of US debt and breaks down his dollar milkshake theory, predicting a bull market littered with major caveats. Talking about the 2 trillion recovery plan, Brent says that it's a huge number. 2 trillion is about 10% of the US GDP. This won't be the last stimulus plan. There will be another one. And then there will be a follow on to the infrastructure plan. It doesn't look like that the economic road to recovery will be as smooth as the markets are forecasting them to be. This global reflation trade and the global growth trade has gotten a little bit ahead of itself. It would be fairly easy to have some kind of a pullback or a correction just to let a little pressure out of the bubble. The debts have gotten so big that there's going to be a reckoning now. You can go back to 1982 or 86 or 89, 99, 2007 or even 2013 and you can find people saying the exact same thing. There will be consequences and we are getting closer to that reckoning day than maybe perhaps some others do. But not clear whether it's going to happen tomorrow or if it's going to happen 2 years from now. The debts in the world are going to have consequences. As part of an infrastructure plan, commodities are going to be needed. The broader economy is not nearly as healthy as the stock market is reflecting. People that work in sports arenas, work on bus stations, some of these more low income jobs, they are really hurting and a lot of those jobs are not coming back. It doesn't seem GDP is going to grow at the extent that global GDP. The US will grow faster than the rest of the world. But we are not going into this new credit cycle where we have got 3 or 4 years of runaway growth. The economy is not as healthy as the markets is showing, but because the governments will force things into green energy and we have got this build back better policy. They will mandate that these industries get funds. It's important to have exposure to those areas, but it's not helpful to go all in on that trade because again, the government's mandating that. Now talking about his milkshake theory, Brent has to say that the biggest risk to the world is a rising dollar. Now the whole world thinks that the dollar is going to get weaker. We are doing infrastructure plans, we are doing stimulus plans, and we are going to do more. The Fed is buying all the bonds. It's quantitative easing after quantitative easing. Automatically, the dollar falls and everybody is on board with that trade. On an absolute basis versus some commodities, versus gold, versus Bitcoin, versus some other hard asset, the dollar might fall. But fiat currencies trade relative to each other, and Europe has to do the same thing. It's not as if the US was doing all this stuff in a vacuum and everybody else was in great physical shape. Then absolutely, the dollar would lose value, but the whole world is in the same place. Everybody has to simulate, everybody has to quote unquote print money. Brent reminds that 12 years ago, the Fed came out first and did quantitative easing and did it pretty aggressively and the dollar fell 10%. But then everybody else kind of got involved as well and the dollar never went lower after that. Despite 10 years of stimulus and 10 years of plans and 10 years of quantitative easing, the dollar went up 20% versus other fiat currencies. Despite there's been a lot of opposition to the dollar, a lot of people around the world would view the US as a bully. We have kind of pushed our view on other people. We forced them to use our currency and those countries would like to stop using the dollar but wanting to do something. Whether they want to or not, they need dollars just to service the debt and to trade with the United States as well. Talking about gold as an asset, Brent says that if you think about the last year, you have pretty much had everything you could have possibly wanted for gold to break out. And yet gold has fallen off 10% since this summer. But in the years ahead, part of this milkshake theory is that global capital will get sucked into the United States, and that will push the dollar even higher. But when that happens, it actually creates chaos around the world. We can get into a situation where the dollar rises and gold rise together versus everything else. And that's where we'll ultimately end up. That's kind of the milkshake there, is that the dollar, the dough, and gold all will rise together in the years ahead. There's this big debate. What should you have, gold or Bitcoin? Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? But there's no reason you can't have both. And in fact, you should have both as per Brent's views. But there's no doubt that Bitcoin has stolen gold's thunder. Think yourself, if Bitcoin did not exist, gold would be much higher than it is today. Because that would be the primary way that people are, investing for a crisis or inflation. The US will attract a lot of global capital in the years ahead. As a reason, we are going to have this debt crisis and currency crisis that will attract capital to the United States. So it's better to invest in US assets, whether it's fixed income, equities, technology, some commodity based industries like agricultural based industries. So that would be a way to look for growth. Also, everybody should own gold, and it wouldn't hurt for everybody owning a little bit of Bitcoin. You need to set your portfolio up in a way. If you are trying to preserve wealth, if you are trying to make a fair return and preserve wealth, you need to set your portfolio up in a way that kind of prepared for anything. And that means there may be periods of time where you trail the overall market, but there's going to be times where you outperform the overall market. Now, advising the investors, Brenton believes that the big debate is a inflation dirt versus defrauding. All the debts in the world are deflationary. Now the governments are doing everything they possibly can to counteract that. The prices have gone up over the last year. The important question is whether or not it's sustainable. One of the big ways to get sustainable inflation is the banks have to lend new money into existence. If you are going all in on this inflationary kick, just be careful. Perhaps have a edge. Perhaps have some part of your portfolio to prepare for a deflationary event as well. The way quantitative easing works is really misunderstood. Everybody calls us money printing. It sort of is, but it really is not. It does have short-term inflationary impacts. But again, unless they get help from the real economy, it's just not sustainable. So guys, tell me in the comment section below, do you agree with Brent or not? And if you found this video really knowledgeable, then please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. I'll catch you in my next video. Till then, have a great day.